to the We Believe Digital Broadcast Network. This is your brother and your friend and your host, Brother Thomas. Guys, so glad to be here with you today, this morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. And guys, I am rejoicing and I am glad this morning. Guys, what a great day to be alive today, guys. Today is a gift straight from God, straight from the Most High God. Today is a gift. And I heard someone say that what we do with this day, what we do with today is our gift back to Him. I've said so many times, I often say that yesterday is gone and tomorrow is not promised. That all we have, family, is today. My goodness, it's today. So I'm just so thankful and so grateful just for this day, just for another opportunity that I have to share with you this morning. To share with my Facebook family, my YouTube family, just all of my family who is sharing with me and who is tuning in with me today. I have made space. I have made virtual space for you today to fellowship and to commune with you this morning. The intent of this show this morning is just to share some good news and to share some encouraging thoughts with you. One of the things I love about this whole digital broadcast, this podcast, is, a lot of the formalities and a lot of the things that the structured, the structure that some other shows may have, especially when you deal with some of these major networks. They're so structured. But I think one of the things I love about this show is that I am able to share with you my authentic self. My authenticity here, my goodness, my authentic self. I don't have all of the, of course there are some rules and regulations and some restrictions that we have, but for the most part, this is from my heart to yours, and I'm so glad for this opportunity to share with you this morning. I wanted to share a few thoughts with this morning. I read this book, The Language of Letting Go. This is Daily Meditations on Codependency. And this is by Melody Beattie. I'm sure that Sister Melody doesn't mind me showing this book. If you don't have it, I am recommending that you go out, order it, Amazon, wherever you are, however you get your products and do your shopping. This is a great book to have in your library. It has changed my life tremendously. It really has. This morning, this meditation was talking about financial fears. Oh my goodness, we're talking about money, some financial fears. I think about it in my life, I think about in my own personal life, instances, the camera just closed. So I guess I'm still over here. This camera, we're still going with live. I don't know, this other camera. Am I still on? It still says streaming. Hello and welcome back to We Believe Digital Broadcast Network. This is your host, your brother and your friend, Brother Thomas. We're having some technical difficulties here. We're getting it all worked out, but hopefully we are live and streaming here. Guys, we are streaming live right here from the great state of Mississippi, right here from Jackson, Mississippi. My goodness. I'm glad to be back with you. Once again, we're having some technical difficulties, but we're getting it worked out. Listen, nothing's going to stop the flow here this morning. Nothing's going to stop this energy. I am really full this morning. I'm not really sure which part you heard and which part you didn't hear. But once again, we are back. I am your brother and your friend, your host this morning, Brother Thomas. And we are on the Rise, Shine, and Give God Glory show this morning. Listen, the morning is in fact, my most favorite time of the day. It's the most intimate part of the day. It's the opportunity that I have to share and to spend some time with my higher power in meditation, in communication, in prayer. And I love the morning time. It's my favorite time of the day. So we talked about, I'll mention again, I don't know which part we heard and which part you didn't hear, but I have this book here, The Language of Letting Go by Sister Melody Beattie. If you don't have this book, I'm encouraging you to Amazon, go to the library. I don't know, wherever you order your books from, or get this book. This is The Language of Letting Go. These are daily meditations on codependency. Melody Beattie. It's a great book. It has changed my life. I read it every morning. This morning, the meditation was talking about financial fears. How many of you have had? How many of you have experienced financial fears in your life before? I don't know about you, but there have been several times in my life that I experienced fear. I mean, I've experienced fear in so many areas of my life. I mean, whether it be financially, whether it be, in a relationship, whether it be in a career, whether it be on a job. I mean, just so many different places that I have experienced this whole emotion of fear. But this morning they were talking about financial fear, and the meditation was talking about. It told a story. There was a story about a lady who was a single parent. She was a single parent, and she had two kids, and she got up one morning only to realize that there was no food and there was no money. And she went to this food pantry place, I guess, the place that she had been before, and there was a sign on the door that said closed. The place was closed. So here this single mother is with two children, no food, no money. Now, obviously I'm not a mother, but I can only imagine the emotion and the pain and the fear and just the whole negative state that she must have been in, having this experience. It says I'm reading from the book here. It said, and there just wasn't enough money. She said life had been a struggle in many ways, but the financial struggle seemed endless. Oh my goodness. How many of you have been in a struggle that just seemed endless? You found yourself in a position, I know I did. I found myself in a position just asking God, how long? How long is this going to last? When is this going to be over? My goodness, I don't know how much more of this I can take. Uh, the story recorder said, money isn't everything, but it takes money to solve certain problems. She said, I was sick of letting go, and I was sick of acting as if I had enough money. She said, I was tired of having to work so hard daily and letting go of the pain and fear about not having enough. I was tired of working so hard and being happy without having enough. It's a job, folks. It's a job trying to be happy when you don't have the basic needs. My goodness, I often refer back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and just basic needs. My goodness, food and shelter and clothing, just basic needs. It's kind of hard to be happy when you don't have just the basic things in life. My goodness. But I'm so thankful this morning that God has blessed us and we're here. But anyway, we talked about the basic things without having enough. She said in this last part, she says, actually, most of the time I was happy. I had found my soul in poverty. But now that I had my soul and myself, I wanted some money too. She said, I wanted some money too. So listen, she found herself sitting in this car with these kids with no money and no food. And what do we do when we find ourselves in these situations when we don't know what to do? That's the question for you this morning. What do you do when you don't know what to do? My goodness, what do you do? I'm reminded of one of the scriptures that says, after you've done all you can to stand, you just stand. That's immediately what comes to mind. But most of us, if you're anything like me, when I don't know what to do, I yield to my higher power. I yield to my higher power. I go to God. I go to my Creator, and I say, listen. I'm here. I don't know what to do. I need some help. I don't know what kind of relationship you have with your higher power this morning, but I talk to my higher power like that. I talk to God like that. God, what's going on? I need some help. I don't know what's going on. I need your help. And this is where this lady found herself in this story that we're talking about this morning. She's crying out to God. I don't know what to do. And she says, when she cried out to God, she says, God spoke to me in that silent, still, small voice that whispers gently to our souls. My goodness, that still small voice. Have you ever heard it? Have you heard it? That still small voice? My goodness. I'm thinking about a story that talks about some thought that he would come with fire and chariots and all these, this big stuff, all this, high energy stuff. But they said that it only came, his voice came in a still small voice. I encourage you to listen today, family, for that still small voice. Because God He is in fact still speaking to his people. He's still speaking to his children. He says that they hear my voice, and the voice of a stranger they will not follow. My sheep hear my voice, and the voice of a stranger they will not follow. So I'm encouraging you this morning, brothers and sisters, and friends and family, to listen today for that still small voice. After this young lady with these two kids, a single mother with the two kids, no food, no money, she cries out to God, and God speaks to her in that still small voice. And this is what God said to her. You don't ever have to worry about money again, child. Not unless you want to. I told you that I would take care of you, and I will. Oh my goodness. I told you I would take care of you, and I will. Her response was, she says, great, thanks a lot. I believe you. I trust you. But I'm looking around and I still don't have any money. I have no food, and the food place is closed. And she says, God, you have let me down. God, you have let me down. Anybody ever felt like that God has let you down? Have you ever felt that before? Like God has let you down? That you've been pushing and you've been working and you've been prodding and believing and praying and doing all these things, but you still feel like that God has let you down? My goodness. She says, again, I heard his voice in my soul. And he says, you don't have to worry about money again. Ever again. You don't have to be afraid. I promise to meet all your needs. My goodness, I'm glad that I serve a God this morning who is able to meet all of my needs. I'm reminded of a word that says, I will supply all of your needs according to my riches and glory. My goodness, I will supply all of your needs. Do you believe that this morning, that God will supply all of your needs? Do you believe that this morning? I do. I do. He has. Listen, we have 100% track record. He has supplied all of my needs up until this point. And I don't believe that he's brought me this far to leave me now. He says that I will supply all of your needs. So she goes on, she calls a friend to borrow some money. And she said, you talked about the fact that, that she didn't like borrowing money. I don't know about you, but I never liked borrowing money. I did it quite a bit, but nobody really likes that. You know what I mean? There's a sense of pride, that a breakdown in your pride. I mean, you really got to put pride aside. You know, hey man, can I borrow $20? Can I borrow some money? Can I borrow this? Oh my goodness. That whole borrowing thing is just something. I don't know. But she borrows money from a friend to try to resolve this present issue that she has. But listen at the end of this story as we close out with this portion of it. She says, I went home, called a friend, asked to borrow some money. She says, my breakdown in the car was a release. She says her breakdown, when she broke down and found herself crying in tears and didn't know what to do, she finally called out to her higher power, and that this experience was a great relief to her. Sometimes we have to get to that breaking point. We have to get to that breaking point where we just break down and we just throw in the towel. We just give up. We just surrender. My goodness. I believe the Most High is calling for a surrender for us today, for us to throw in the towel, for us to have that breakthrough. My goodness, that breakthrough. She says, but I didn't solve a thing that day. There was no check in the mailbox, still had the current issues, still had the same circumstances. But here's the good news. It says, but I got food for the day and the next and the next. And within 6 months, her income doubled. And within 9 months, her income tripled. And since that day, I have had hard times, but I have never had to go without, not for more than a moment in time. He says, now I have enough. Sometimes I still worry about money because that seems to be habitual, but I know that I don't have to, and I never really did. Brothers and sisters, this morning I'm here to say to you and to say to you that all of the unnecessary fears and the unnecessary negative emotions and the unnecessary things that we have brought upon ourselves that we didn't have to. There's one thing about it's something about trial and tribulations. We all go through them. It's a part of life. But I read somewhere one time it says, "Don't let the storms in your life be of your own making. Don't let the storms in your life be of your own creation." It's like, my goodness, I listen. Life itself brings enough trouble, enough trial, enough tribulation. I certainly don't need to create any extra, right? So I listen. She realized that she never had to worry about money. Brothers and sisters, I'm here today to tell you that there's no need to worry. There's no need to worry. No need to fret. Ain't no need to worry what the night is going to bring, the wine that says, because it's going to be all over in the morning. This meditation ended with a prayer. And it says, God, help me work at what I believe is right for me in my life today. And I'll trust you for the rest. Help me let go of my fears about money. Help me turn that area over to you, God, and take away the blocks and the barriers in my life to financial freedom and to financial success. Oh my goodness, that's a prayer this morning, guys. That's my prayer, to be in a position where we can trust God and believe that He will do just what He said that He would do and supply all of our needs according to His riches and glory, so that we don't have to face those financial fears. Guys, we're going to get ready to take a short break. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to just explore a little more this morning and share a few more encouraging thoughts. Guys, this is a day that the Lord has made. You are with your brother and your friend and your host, Brother Thomas, and this is Rise, Shine, and Give God the Glory. We'll be right back.
Have you had your Earthblend coffee today? At Earthblend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earthblend Coffee. To order, visit earthblendcoffee.co now.
It says somewhere in the Bible, it says, let our light so shine unto men that they may see our good works, that our Father in heaven might be glorified. And that's our prayer today. That's my prayer today, is that our Father in heaven is glorified. Guys, before the break, we were talking about the language of letting go. We're talking about financial fears. This book, The Language of Letting Go, Melody Beattie. Love it, get it. It'll change your life. The other part of we're moving over now to in this second segment with this book, Experiencing God. My goodness, I guess I can tell you guys this. And listen, my mother got me this book, right? And she went through this whole program years ago. And I think over at their church they have they're doing a study again. This is Experiencing God, and this is Henry Richard and Mike Blackaby and Claude V. King. This is Experiencing God. If you have an organization, a group, whatever, Bible study, this is some great material that you can use, to do some Bible study. I was reading this morning about walking with God. Walking with God. And this opening paragraph was really interesting to me, and I thought that I would share it with you. It said, God created the first man and woman, Adam and Eve, for a love relationship with himself. My goodness. Do you believe today that you were created to have a love relationship with the Most High? Do you believe that God created you, my brother? That He created you, my sister, to have a love relationship with Himself? My goodness. It says, after Adam and Eve sinned, they heard God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. They hid from Him because of their fear and their shame, trying to sense the heart of a loving father when He asked that tender-hearted question, where are you? God knew something had happened to their love relationship. Oh my goodness, that love relationship. You know, when you're in a love relationship, I mean, we can use that from the human perspective. You know, from one on one. You know, when you're in a real love relationship, you can tell when things change. You know, you can tell when the energy is not quite there. And don't you know that it's the same way with our relationship with God? That because we have that relationship, that He knows when something's just not right. And it said that God knew something had happened to their love relationship. He knew. It says, when your relationship is as it ought to be, you will always be in fellowship with the Father. You will remain in His presence, enjoying your love relationship with the God of the universe. When Adam and Eve were missing, something had gone terribly wrong. So, my goodness, are you absent today from your relationship with God? Are you absent today? Is He looking for you? Are you hiding this morning with the fig leaves like Adam and Eve did? Are you still walking around with guilt and shame? My goodness. I encourage you today, brothers and sisters, to be free today from that guilt and to be free from that shame today. And God has made a way to be with you, that He has a desire. His heart is for you, that He wants to be in that love relationship with you on today. So, brothers and sisters, this is your brother. This is your friend. We're going to bring this segment to an end. We're going to bring this show to an end, guys. But I am so thankful again, so grateful for the opportunity to share. Again, those two books that we came from, The Language of Letting Go, Melody Beattie, Daily Meditations on Codependency. Talked about walking with God. Again, this is Henry, Richard, and Mike Blackaby and Claude V. King, Experiencing God. Great books to have in your library. We're going to do our very best, guys, to bring you some words of encouragement in the morning. I don't know, everybody's not a morning person like me, you know. Like as I said earlier, the morning is my most favorite time of the day, and I just thought that I would share some of this energy with you this morning. I am bubbling, I am running over, as you can tell. And I know that you can feel it, and I am just so thankful and so grateful again for the opportunity to share with you this morning. I'd like to give a shout out to one of my sponsors this morning, to Earth Blend Coffee. If you have not tasted this Earth Blend coffee, listen, you can go to earthblend.co. That's earthblend.co, and you can order your 8-ounce bag of coffee, I believe it is, they have for $7.99 on today. Now listen, I mentioned before, I've had coffee from Africa and Jamaica and from Mexico and from all around the globe. I've had coffee, but guys, this Earth Blend coffee, it's something special, and it's right here in the great state of Mississippi. So guys, I'd appreciate your support. Once again, Earth Blend Coffee Company, we thank you for that. I'd like to send a shout out to Brother Socrates Gare for this opportunity. Thank you for your leadership and for your ability and for allowing God to share this vision with us. So guys, listen, we hope you have the best day. We're going to bring this show to an end. Until the next time, remember, this morning we're going to rise and shine and give God the glory. This is your brother and your friend, Brother Thomas. We're signing off until next time. Be blessed. Be blessed. Be blessed.
Thank you.